All right, everybody, welcome to the KC Samson Team's Masterclass Series. What we've done so far in 2021 is our series this year is going to be 2021 Game Changers. Last week we spoke about how you use Zoom Studios, how they're going to change the way we set up houses, all that good stuff. Today, we're going to do one of the more important elements of all of this, and that is pricing. And I mean pricing for everyone. So let me give you an example of why this is important. So I'm going to show you our statistics first, the market statistics. And I can tell you that if I priced homes the way the rest of my competitors or my market prices homes, then last year we would have lost well over $1 million. And I'm going to show you in a minute exactly how that happened. So why is this important? You know, I'm looking at a few of my agents and everyone here from my team. And if you guys can imagine us losing $1.2 million last year, we would not be happy about that. So show you exactly how that's going to happen, how you as agents can prevent that, how you can come up with a very simple pricing model to really work on your close the listings you get, sell the listings you get referrals from those listings you get buyers from those listings that you get. And it all revolves around the pricing. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you right now. I'm going to whip over and we're going to talk about losing money if you don't do this right and why exactly is this so dang important. All right. So can you see the chart, guys? Is the chart visible now? You can see. Yep. All right. So this is the results from last year, from 2020. And on the left is the track record. And I'm not bragging. I'm just showing you how we lose $1.1 million to $1.2 million, how easy it is if I just price the way everybody prices. So our closings, we closed 97% of our listings, which means they all sold. Okay. And 90% of them sold in the first 30 days. And 78% sold in the first 10 days, which I've already done seminars on why the first 10 days is so important. We get multiple contracts, highest offers. We have not had a home inspection yet this year. Every contract we've had that have come in have all had no home inspections. We have no appraisals on our properties. So is it important to sell in that period? Yes, it is. So I also chart, I do not most, but I do a lot of business in Vienna, maybe $50 million in Vienna. And a lot of that's over $1 million. So what is the rest of the market doing over $1 million? It was a pretty good year. It was a seller's year last year. 51% of the houses sold last year in Vienna over $1 million. So 49% failed to sell. Over $1.3 million, 60% of the homes failed to sell. Now, I can tell you this is all about pricing because I'm following them. I'm watching them. I know what's going on. I know why they're making their mistakes, how they're making their mistakes, and trying to avoid making those mistakes and using their mistakes against them. So, because I have to compete like everybody else for listings. So let's take a look at that and understand that only 21% of the listings over $1 million sold in that magical 10-day period, which means sellers did not have control. 28 sold in the first 30 days. So we know that they're all out in that period of time when the buyer has more leverage than the seller does. So let's just look at some numbers here. So let's say I only closed 51% of my stuff. And so instead of $65 million worth of listings sold, I sold $33 million worth of listings sold. So that means that I lost or $32 million worth of listings withdrew unsold because if I didn't price them right. $32 million based on what we make is about $650,000. 30% of our listings, the buyers come directly to my listing agents and buy the house through them, okay? Because there's multiple contracts, and maybe they want to get that contract. So that's 1/3. So that's $10 million worth of sales we would not have had, $250,000. So 250 plus 650 is $900,000. Now, if I had my sign up and instead of saying under contract and sold, it said it was withdrawn unsold and everybody knew it was on for a year or 6 months and I couldn't sell the house, then my repeat business wouldn't be very good. If my track record isn't good, I'm not going to get a lot of repeat business. The neighbors aren't going to be calling me to sell their house if I couldn't sell their neighbor's house. So let's say that's another 150 million or $15 million I would not have got. So that's 300,000. So now I'm up to $1.2 million if I priced my houses the way my competitors price their houses. So is it important that we take the next hour and get focused and find out how in the hell can we make sure that we price our houses correctly? This is pay it forward. This is a corporate culture at Samson Properties. Danny had it, Bernie had it, Donnie has it. It's a pay it forward. So I've developed something. I'm going to make sure all the agents know about it, make sure we can help them, because the more of you that close your deals, the more sold signs we have for Samson Properties, the more we have, then the more confidence everybody has in our company, the more professional we look. So we want to be known as a company that can price it right and sell it and have a great reputation on the street. So let's get into that today. So the answer of why is this 1 hour so important to our agents? For me, if I did it wrong, it would cost us $1.2 million. I know it costs you money. I don't want it to cost you money. You know, we only have so much time, energy, and money. So let's figure out what it takes. First of all, why is everybody only sold 40% of their houses over 1.3 million and 50% of their houses over $1 million? How does that happen? These are experienced agents. They're all, you know, $1 million club agents, multi-million-dollar club agents. I compete against these guys every day. They're all very experienced. Here's how it happens. And if you want to talk about, you know, the game changer, in 2020, people come in and to be honest with you, I know this because I ask agents, I ask sellers all the time, what was everybody pricing it at? Can you give me some samples of their information that they gave you? How did you arrive at that price that you were told? They got it from their computer. Compass has a thing. Redfin has a thing. Everybody's got RPR. They put their address into a pricing engine. It pops it out. It gives them a 26-page report, and that's the value house. Now, I'm going to prove that wrong today. I'm going to prove it wrong today. Now, this right here shows that RPR is right less than 10% of the time. Realtor.com 10.5, Zillow 10%, because I plot all of what they think those estimates are prior to me doing a listing. So in 2020, that was their average, and that was it. The house I've selected today is also wrong. I ran all of them to see what they said it was, got them all written out. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So we know now why we need to price it right, and we know how they're doing it wrong. So let's not make that same mistake. Let's not get married to a bunch of websites and let them price it. We are skilled realtors. One of our tools, and I love the saying that Sarah Mormon comes up with. You have two mentalities around here. One of them is, I'm not sure I can do it. That's pretty difficult. I don't think I can. And the other one is kick down the door and say, this is a part of my job. I'm a professional. I need to have the tools. This is a tool. And what Sarah says is put on your big girl pants and go out and get it done. Put on your big boy pants and go out and get it done. Perfect saying. So if you are tentative, you need to be aggressive. This is your job. This is your profession. Your sellers are depending on you. And if you're wrong on this price, if you're wrong on pricing their house, they could lose tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and you could lose a listing. So let's get focused on how we're going to do our listings. Okay. So the first place we're going to start whenever we do a listing is at the tax record. I'm going to look at what is their assessment. Assessment here is $866,000. Most houses in a 1 mile radius, when you go back 160 days and you have similar ages and size, are going to give you the comps, right? And I'm going to walk you through that. And they're going to have an average percentage of assessment. Well, let's apply that to our house. Let's apply that to 866,000. Then we look down here and there is a square footage. This house is a 2,676 square foot house above grade. Don't even want to talk about below grade. It's assumed that you have a finished basement. It's just customary that is finished with a rec room and a bedroom and a bathroom, whatever is customary for your area, forget about it. That's it. That's customary. Let's just focus on the top 2 floors or the above grade square footage. So the age is also important. It's 1983. So when I search, I'm going to search for houses of similar ages, similar sizes, and similar price ranges. Okay. So let's start. Now, before we go anywhere, there's one concept, if you ever want to price a house, that you need to wrap your arms around. Okay. The bigger the house is, the smaller the price per square foot is. The smaller the house is, the higher the price per square foot. Now, part of our expertise is how to adjust that average square footage up or down based on whether we're bigger or smaller, older or younger than the house of our competition. But I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to work on that. I'm going to give you some formulas. This is recorded, so everybody don't try and follow along. Let's just watch through it, and then you can practice on your own Excel spreadsheets and all that stuff. Okay? So this is proof that you need to wrap your arms around that. The top lines, the purple lines that you see on all of these, that's the 2,500 square foot houses. That's the price per square foot of a 2,500 square foot house. The teal line in the middle is the price per square foot, 3,500 square foot house. And the bottom one is the price per square foot of homes over 5,000 square feet. So as you can see, as homes get bigger, price per square foot goes down, okay? So we just need to understand that concept, and I'll apply it to the homes that we're going to do today on the model. We're actually going to do a pricing model, something you can do in your own house. You can practice it. Again, Michael Jordan didn't get great because Michael Jordan walked out and shot a few basketballs, and all of a sudden God said, boom, you're great. Michael Jordan practiced. If you want to be a professional, you need to practice. I was in the Marines. Marines do things so much, not until they can't get it right. They do it so much they can't get it wrong. They cannot get it wrong because they do it so much. They practice. So put on the big girl pants, put on the big boy pants, practice your ass off. This is your tool. It's your money maker. This is, if you want to build your business, build it on track record and build it on the fact that you're selling what you're given. Sell it. All right. So let's take a look. The first place we're going to go, and I'm going to actually do this live. I'm going to price a house right here. So the first thing you want to do is your search screen. So when you go to your search screen, okay, this is the way I've set mine up. All right. The above grade square footage. Now over on the right here, if you hit this add remove button, what that allows you to do is add fields and sort them the way you want them. So all I did was say, these are the fields that I need, that I want. And this is the way I sorted them. Now, all you got to do is there's a button on the, let me get you guys out of my way. Over here on the far right, you'll see it goes up or down. So you can move these fields up or down. Now, the first thing I do when I price a house is I look for above grade square footage. What year was it built? What's your tax assessment? What's the list price? So these are all important things to me. Okay. So I move them to the top. So the first thing you need to do is get your search screen ready so that when you open up that custom screen, you put your price per square foot. Now, let's go to our criteria, and this is a good place to start. Let's say I have a 2,600 square foot house like we're going to look at today. I usually go down 500 square feet, go up 500 square feet. So that gives me a range between 2,100 square feet, 3,200 square feet. My house was 3,000 square feet. I would say, well, give me everything from 2,500 to 3,500. Just makes sense. I'm trying to give it a big enough grouping that I can get comps, but not too big, because the bigger the spread, the more the numbers could get off. So I'm trying to get similar. The next one is year built. Very important. 10 years older than mine, 10 years younger than mine. That's your group. Okay. Now, in here, the defining characteristic of the house that I'm pricing right now is it's in the Wolf Trap School District. Now, do not call this seller. This is a random house. I picked it right out of the tax records because of its size, age, and location. So don't call this seller and say you want to buy the house. This is only for demonstration purposes only. Okay. So the defining characteristic of this house is Wolf Trap School District. So somebody's going, all right, I need this size house, this age house in a Wolf Trap School District. Let's see what those homes sell for. There's 8 matches. So that's what we're going to do. Here's what the display is going to look like. It's going to lay all of it out here in such a format that I can copy this, paste it into an Excel spreadsheet, and my formula or my thing that I've developed over the years just goes and does all the work for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a brand new spreadsheet and show you how to do it. It's very, very simple. It's easy for you to do. Okay. This is not rocket science. We're going to whip over to an Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to price this house for you. And when it's done, you're going to see a few things. 1, we know exactly where we're going to price it. 2, we know exactly who's going to come in and what prices the other agents are going to say and what their 26-page reports are going to look like. We're going to get this listing. We're going to price it right and we're going to sell it. Okay. The other people are going to do it because they're looking at pricing engines that are giving out the wrong numbers. So down here, and again, this is on tape, so you can take your time, freeze the frame, and this is the columns. Okay. So these are the columns that you can put. There's 2 ways to do it. 1, you can hit the top of this column and it says add column and just add a new column. Add style, add status, add elementary school, whatever you want. This is just my way of doing it. So you can see this is the way I display them. And all you have to do is just build a custom display or take one you've got, click on this row, and you'll see add or remove a column. So add columns, move columns, have them the way you want. This is the way I want it. Okay. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to go back to MLS. I'm going to run that query. I'm going to pull those houses off, and then I'm going to set them into a brand new spreadsheet, just a blank old spreadsheet that I've got to put some numbers in. And we're going to go from there and I'm going to price that house. All right. Everybody cool with that? So let me whip into the matrix. All right. So again, we'll go back to the criteria. You can see that's the criteria I put in. Now, sometimes I'll say 1 mile radius, but in this case, that's the dominant school district. Anybody that can get in Wolf Trap, that's their dominant school district.
Hey, Case.
Yes, buddy.
Hey, we just had a question that I just answered. Not all agents write in the elementary school. So there was a question by one of our attendees. And so I just answered it for you. I mean, it's funny that you brought that up. We can also use the radius tool up above, if you want to go.
Yeah, you can go 1 mile radius. You can go 1 mile radius right here. I don't go any more than 1 mile radius. And you're right. Some agents don't do that, but I'm not here for the exception. I'm here for the rule. So I'm going to really run down the rule right now. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to give you enough to price a house, but it's about 10% of the total because there are unique properties. There are different changes I have to make from time to time. So this is the guts of it. This is the majority of it. All right. So let's go grab the results. And there they are. Okay. Now, where do I go from here? All right. I put my cursor down at the very bottom. And I do this 10 times a day. And I go up here to the top and I do Control C. I go to a blank spreadsheet. Now, because we've got a class in here today, and I was playing with it right before we got on here. So let me just get rid of some of this stuff because I want to start from blank. Okay, so let's come in here and let's drop it in. So I've just dropped in all of the data that I just pulled from the MLS. See that? There it all is. Now, if you bring it into a spreadsheet and things are crunched up a little bit, you can't see anything, then what you do is you highlight the entire sheet like this. You just double click. And you see how it'll spread everything up to the sizes. Okay. And you can see everything. So I've already gone through and I've said that this house at this property, at this size, this age, this size, this assessment, that's the lot size. Okay. So this is all the data I really need to tell where this house is going to be. In about 2 minutes, you guys are going to find out what this house is worth. But here's how I do it. I see that I've got 2 under contract and I've got 5 sold, and I'm going to get rid of this expired. If I see a lot of expireds, I want to know what did they do wrong. So all I do is light up these three rows, and I just insert some rows because I'm trying to separate the under contracts from the solds. These are the ones I'm really interested in. Okay. So you can see around here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert 2 rows or columns. Insert columns. Okay. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to know the price per square foot of each one of these houses and the percentage of assessment. So this is kind of looking like the model I give to sellers every day. All right. So let's see, how do I get this? All I do is say equals sales price divided by square foot. Now, for those of you that don't know how to use Excel, you need to work with somebody who does. I do pricing for a lot of my team, but most of them are competent, can do that pricing themselves. But I do it because that just happens to be my specialty. So when you light up a sign like this, if you go to the bottom corner and the cross turns black, it's saying you can go ahead and copy everything. So I pull it down and it copied everything. So that's the price per square foot of everyone. Then I go equals sales price divided by assessment. And I drag those down and I turn those into percentages. Now, up here in an Excel spreadsheet, some of you need to know these things, how to do averages, how to format for this. But again, if you don't know Excel, these tasks of inserting rows, inserting columns, dividing one number by another, formatting are pretty simple things to do. All right, so here we go. I want to know what is the average days on market for these guys. The average days on market is 12. So I'm looking at this, it's already telling me, okay, they're selling fast. I copy it over. And the reason I stop here is because these are all formatted in numbers. These are formatted in values. So I'm going to come down here. I'm saying, give me the average of the assessments. And I'm going to drag it over. And there's all my averages. Now for my averages, what I do is I go to that line, I light it up in yellow. And this lets you put lines on them. And to me, I mean, all I'm doing is averaging. So I do it one top and a double bottom border. So you can see it's starting, the format is starting to take shape. All right, so let me see if anyone in here is a property that I don't want, because now what we're doing is we're pruning the comparables, okay? So I'm pruning out all these comparables. Well, I don't like this one at all. I mean, that's just something happened to that house. They just screwed up on that house. I don't know what was wrong with it, but it is not a customary house that settles for 95% of their assessment. So I'm going to bring these guys down. Now, could I take out this 32? Yeah, that's a little high, but that's okay. I can live with 21. So let's figure out what I'm doing here. All I'm doing, I'm trying to find out, just give me a ballpark range, because I'm going to do another model here in a second that's going to be more on the button. But right this second, I'm just saying, look, give me a ballpark. Am I looking at 950, a million, $1.1 million, $1.2 million? Just tell me where I am, okay? All right. So here we go. So let's take a look at that. Let's take our numbers here, because now I'm going to start comparing. And I know that what is our assessment? 866. Right? Well, that assessment's pretty damn close. It's only off by $20,000. Look at there. Okay. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to look at the sizes, look at the ages. So, the thought about age is it's 1% for every year. But once you get out, once you get outside of 2000s and you're down in the 80s or 90s, they've been fixed up, at some form or fashion. So at this point, 83, 84, 85, it's the same thing. Okay. But if one is a 204 and one is a 210, it's a 6% difference. It's 1% per year, 6% difference in that price per square foot. So what I'm looking at is this square footage right here. And I'm saying that number is going up or down. Okay. So these houses are bigger. Ours is smaller. So that means our square footage is going to be our price per square foot, because we're smaller, is going to be a little higher than this 375. Now, I have formulas in, it does it for me, but I'm just going to say it's going to be a little higher. So let's say it's 382. So let's now come up with our numbers. What's this house worth? Well, if it's 2676 times 382. So here's one number, equals this times this. 1,022,000. Everybody look below and see what the website said they're worth. RPR said it's worth 947. Realtor said 957. Zillow says 948. HomeSite says, or Home Snap or whatever we call it, says 592. And I think somehow I got rid of Redfin, but they said I think it was 940s. So they average 950. So if people come into this house and say, hey, this house is worth $950,000, here's a 26-page report that shows it. Well, I can pretty much show you that if your square footage of 866 times the average, well, that's not 950. So if all the houses are selling, all the 1984 houses, same size, 100, 200 square feet more, similar lots, similar assessments, if they're selling for this square footage, and my adjusted is right here, then look at here. The average of those two numbers is 1,036,000. I'm $80,000 off the average of those websites. So a seller's going to go, I don't care what they say it's worth. You need to know how is it done. So then you come in and say, well, my track record is X, and I can prove that it's worth $382 a square foot just based on these comparables. And you see these MLS numbers I've got? All I gotta do is copy those, put them in MLS, and print the listings real fast. So basically, we all know now, and this is the first pricing model. The first one is age and size. The second one is price range. So let's just say that we're somewhere around $1 million to $1.25 million, max $1,050,000. But let's just say $1 million. Okay. So we're pretty clear on this model, and you can dress it up any way you want. I'll show you that if you go back to this, that's kind of like what mine looks like when I'm done with it. And I dress it up and make it look real pretty and all this stuff. And you can look at that and do something similar. But all it is that right there. There's your guts. I mean, I'm just making it look a little prettier. Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
Before you flip over to the price range model,
yeah,
just a couple of things to take away here. We had no actives. There was 2 under contract and 5 sold. So that tells us something whenever we run our search. If there's 5 or 8 active and there's none sold or none under contract, you're not in the same market. So we know this is a very strong market here. One other thing to take away, we can't really use the homes that are under contract, but you can see up above the Batten Hollow, that list price was $989. On your second one case was $989. Yeah. It was about the same size, 2663. The assessment is under our assessment, and it went under contract in 2 days. So as realtors, we all know if something goes under contract in 2 days, it's probably at or above the list price. So we can't really use that as a comp, but it's just little things. And that's kind of a level 200 step is as you learn to go through these more and more, you'll start to understand that, hey, we're in a pretty good seller's market here as opposed to a buyer's market. So whenever you're determining, hey, are we at 950 or are we at 1,036,000? You know.
Well, and here's the other thing, Billy. Forget being the listing agent. You got a buyer that wants to buy a house, right? And you need to determine how much you're going to pay for that house. And they're looking at Zillow saying the house is only worth $950. I'm going to offer $950.
Right.
You know you're not getting that house at $950. Now let me show you another thing. I was looking over here going, these things sold pretty fast. What did they sell for? This one, let's play numbers geek equals the sales price or the value minus the list price. And that's going to give us what these sold over list price.
There you go.
So, you know, they're selling $30,000 to $100,000 over list price. So in my book, and again, this is just my first one. Okay. And let's not everybody think we're going to put a number in a computer. It's just going to spit it out. This is work. This is like Joe Kenda trying to solve a mystery, trying to solve a murder. Okay. We're trying to solve this thing. We're going to give it some time. Okay. So right now I know it's somewhere over $1 million. They're saying it's worth this, and people are bidding that much more. And that's how effective it is to use a Excel spreadsheet. That's how powerful it is. Okay. All right, let's go back. And now we're going to do what Billy said was, I always go back and said, all right, forget about all that. Forget this. Give me all houses that are, so if somebody's coming in and looking for wolf trap, they're looking between 900 and let's say 1,000,001. So now I'm going to do the pricing threshold. Okay. Just give me everything from 900,000 to 1,000,001. That's plenty of room. I have 9 properties. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to come in. I'm going to scrape them. I'm going to come in here, go over to my A. I'm going to plant them. I see I've got 4 pending in this group. So let me separate them all out. Okay. Now, for some reason, I've got an active out there, so they just came on the market. All right. Again, let me go back and format this for you guys. Click here. Everything gets formatted. Okay. Let's start again. It's the same process. All right. We're going to come in here. We're going to put my averages, which is this and this. Okay. I'm just going to come down. Say, what's the average? I'm going to come to that number. I'm going to put the little black number on it here, and I'm going to bring it over. There it is. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to get the average assessment. Doesn't that 853 look pretty close? Let's format this over here. Okay. Again, I'm going to put in 2 rows because I need to calculate see the red fin right there? That's what disappeared before. Mm-hmm. So they were basically, Redfin is saying 948 too. Does everybody understand how frustrated I get when people say they price with these pricing engines? And I know so much that they're wrong. Percentage of assessment. Okay. All right. So again, we calculate equals sales price divided by value. They may be the same comps. I really don't care. I mean, wait a minute. This is, I got an expired in here. Let me get rid of that. Just light it up, edit, delete. Okay. So see how I dragged it over. Now they're treating these all as numbers. So let me just do this, guys, real quick. I'm going to format it, which means this is kind of what I want it to be. Format it. And it's formatted the same number. Okay. I'm going to copy it over. And I can always put the yellow and double thing back. Okay. All right. So now I'm formatted. Bring this down. Now, something looks wrong with that, doesn't it? That's
It's
not normal.
your bottom.
So look at the square footage. It's so far off that it's not an apple to apple.
Yeah,
Okay?
we had a question on that case that I
Okay.
answered. Someone was asking about how refined we get on our square footage, and that's a great example right there. If it's too far out, it's not an apple to apple, so we throw those out.
Right. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look at what's everyone looking at in the 900 to 1.1 range. And then I will, again, the most important part of doing these pricing models is pruning. You need to prune out the bad ones. All we're looking for is a customary value. Okay, customary value. Now, if let's say the customary value, we end up at $1 million. Is that house worth $1 million? I don't know. Because a house that's 25 years old or 35 years old, the pricing difference could be anywhere from, 20% to 25% because upgrades and condition will dictate price. All I'm trying to do is come up with a customary value of what a normal house would sell for at this size and this age within 1 mile radius or in the same school district. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. So here we are. We're coming down and we look like we're getting a little familiar. This is 29. Again, we're at 26, whatever, 80, 76 or something, 76. And our age is 1983. All right. Our lot size 11. So they got a little bit bigger lot than we have normally. All right. Their assessment's bigger than ours is. All right. They're selling for $1,050,000. All right. So that's their square footage. All right. Now, the percentage of assessment is equal to sales price divided by what their assessment is. Okay. All right. Again, here's my 95. I'm getting rid of that because that's just not a normal comp. This is a big one. So now you know why sometimes, and this is an entire school district of wolf trap. Okay. Now you know why instead of doing a 1 mile radius for this, I went out to the whole wolf trap because there's not enough comps in just a 1 mile radius. You gotta kind of think about it. So what I'm looking for is at least 4 or 5 comparables, okay, in the price range that I can use. And sometimes it's 1 mile, sometimes 1.5 miles. If I went to Percyville, it's 5 miles. It could be 3 towns. So you really have to just adjust. I mean, be like Butch Cassidy, man, in the Sundance Kid. When Sundance, shot and he missed, and he goes, "Well, can I move?" And the guy goes, "What?" He goes, "Boom, boom, boom." He moved and shot it all up. He goes, "I'm much better when I move." So move. We're not computers. We're sitting here trying to figure out what comps do we want to use in what we're doing. Okay. So right now we come down and we're a little bit higher. Okay. So this is, these got to all be, again, we want to format them like this. So it's 125% on these ones that sold. What are these guys asking up here? Are they all under contract?
One active.
Yeah. Let me insert some more rows so I can separate them. I just want to deal with these guys. So what is my price per square foot equals this divided by this. Now, look at the age of that house, right? So you're getting a bigger house, but look at the age.
Same with the second one.
Right.
Which might have been overpriced, as we can see that it's sat on the market for 87 days.
Right. So basically, I'm focused on this. Their assessments are at 884, ours at 866. They're getting 1.1 million. That kind of backs up what I'm looking as far as that's concerned, right? So this is close enough. This is close enough. So I really have a lot more confidence in these sales right here. So again, if I want to come down and do this, I say my average price per square foot is somewhere around 380. I'll go with 383. There's this times this. So let's pick what our price would be here. equals this times this. Looks kind of familiar. Equals this times my assessment. So whether I've done this at age and size or price range, I'm pretty confident that it's between $1 million and $1,050,000, right? 55. I'm $100,000 over what Zillow says it's worth. Now, we know what's going on out there. We know we're putting houses on the market and everybody's bidding them up. We know that the average that the other houses of size and age were built, that they were bid up an average of $50,000 to $75,000. So I would tell the seller in this case that the average price for a house like this is about $1,050,000. Now, that is the customary value of this house, and that's how I arrived at it. I came at it from two different directions. I don't think there's any way anybody can dispute we're between $1 million and $1,050,000. Now comes the tricky part. Okay. Customary equals that. Okay. Dated, if the home is dated, equals this times 0.95. I'm going to take a 5%. Oops, what did I just do? I just did something wrong. So I'm going to bring that into customary. This dated is equal to customary times 0.95. Why? I'm saying it's only 95% is valuable. You're going to lose 5% because the house is dated. It's $1 million if your house is dated. It's $1,050,000 if your house is customary. If your house looks great, equals this times 1.04. Now, why is it 1.04 and 95? Well, that's pricing 102, I guess. This is pricing 101. So I'm going to go look at that house, and if it's updated, you can expect about $1,000,001. If it's customary, $1,050,000, and if it's dated, it's worth $1 million. What time is it? So probably in a half hour instruction time, showing you guys how to lay this out. Now, let's say I want to show this to the seller. Okay. Then I just make it, I'll tighten it up a little bit. You know, I make this look a little better. This is the lot. This is this square footage. You know, this is the price per square foot. So all you have to do, watch how fast this happens.
Are you watching our questions case?
I'm not, Billy. I'm doing this.
Because the last question was, how do you make it look like a nice presentation?
You got it. Oh, all right. So I'm gonna dress it up. Watch this. I'm gonna start at the address, and I'm gonna end at the place I've been working on. I'm gonna merge them, and I'm gonna say my favorite agent in here, Mary Crow, my favorite agent, Mary's model for 123 St. Boniface Vase Drive. And then I'm gonna make it look cute. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna paint that box blue, and I'm gonna make it white. And then I'm gonna make it 24 points. And then I'm gonna make a box out of it. And guess who I'm gonna include in that box? Get over here, Redfin. I'm gonna drag your ass right over there. Because these numbers are important. All right. All right. So let's start down here. Let's go up here. And let's do set print area. File, print area, set print area. right? Now I'm going to go into the seller. Watch this, file print. Now, when you're doing this, sorry guys, just give me 5 seconds. You want to put a box around this, hard box. Okay. Then when you do file print, right? There we go. Now, can you make this look prettier? Sure, watch this. Come over the solds. Make it 1. This is a merge, color it white, and just put sold. Go over these, merge, blue, white, under contract.
Case.
Yeah.
And just so people know, this here, what you're doing is exactly what we show our sellers. Like, we don't make it really look any fancier than this. I think that's good for people to know that this is exactly what we typically show our sellers.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So you do this, see it? I'm just going to hit file print. Now
we lost you, Case. You're going in and out. We lost your camera too.
Oh, okay. All right. Stop sharing and let me get back to find out what went wrong.
Might have exited out of the external camera. There you go. Never mind.
Yeah, there you go.
I can tell you what I did, Billy, was I probably, when I went to file print.
Yeah. It brought up a new.
I put that right in front of the seller. And then what I tell them is, it's not the what, it's the how. How did you arrive at the price? Your competitors do not know how to arrive at the price. They put the address in, print it out, bring a 26-page report. They can't discuss the how. Now, Zillow is off by $100,000. All of them are. RPR, they're off by 100 grand. And I just did it right in front of your face. So can you do this? Can you get it cuter? Can you look better? But you can, but let me just get back to sharing my screen here real quick. Let me show you exactly what mine looks like. I mean, I sit down with a seller, that's what it looks like. Nothing more than these are your actives, these are your under contracts or withdrawals. And, you know, down here, your sold is, you know, they were built in 215, we're 216. Their square footage is 3,600, we're 3,600. There's 4 comps to look at. That's the price per square foot. That's what you're worth. Now, they had a precarious lot situation. So I said, well, they took credit off of your house because the lot was a little odd. And that's down to 1.375. So if you look at the difference between the two, you're somewhere between 1.45 and 1.472. That's exactly what it looks like. And then also we do this, the next page. Oops. So this, you can see 1.472, but if your house is just below average or dated, it's worth this. If it's above average and updated, it's worth that. Now, we now know how to set parameter, how to set up your search, how to set up your custom searches, what your parameters are when you're going after to buy, you know, to price a house. We know how to set up the display, so you know how you want it displayed. You know how to copy it and paste it onto a spreadsheet, separate the solds from the under contracts, add 2 columns, calculate price per square foot, calculate percentage of assessment. Go to the bottom of each one of your columns. You know, how old is it? Let me have the average. What's the average age, size, lot size, assessment, list price, sales price, price per square foot, percentage of assessment. Apply those numbers to your numbers. Apply them to what you saw in your spreadsheet in your tax record. Apply them to your house. Do not do that unless you've made an adjustment when you're looking at your bottoms. Is your age similar? If not, you're gonna have to get a credit for that, either up or down. Are your sizes the same? Well, if one is, and I want to give you just a general rule of thumb on this, okay? Let's say there's a 10% difference in the size. Well, you don't take 10% off you don't change the square footage 10%. You don't apply all of it, but you apply 60% of it. So let's say 10% would be $20 a square foot. You don't apply $20 a square foot. You do 60% of $20 a square foot. Okay, so whatever that is, $12 a square foot. So that's where you adjust it up or down, but you get the point. I'm going to put you in the right ballpark. We want to be in the right ballpark. But right this second, somebody went to RPR, somebody put in that address, somebody's walking in with a 26-page report that says 948 and can't explain how they got to 948 when we're sitting there showing them how I arrived at $1,050,000. And if your house is in good shape and above thing, then you're even higher than that. And if I go back to your guys' spreadsheet that you just printed, then you're worth maybe $1.1 million. I don't know. Got to see what your house looks like. Now, that's all it is. The basics of how to price a house, that is the basics of it. Are there extraordinary circumstances? Yes. Can I go over all of them? No. You can't go over 20 or 30 years worth of stuff. No. But this is close. This is better than where we were. So at least now we're close and we know how to get there. Now, the next class we're going to have, okay? The next class we're going to have is going to say how to walk into a house that is dated, therefore it's worth $1 million, and bring it to an updated status and have it be worth $1,095,000. So I'll bet you that for $10,000 or $15,000, we could take $1 million house and turn it into a $1.1 million house. We do it every day. So part of this is knowing value, but the next part of the game changer is what to do to get from $1 million to $1.1 million. How to take a dated house or a very traditional, old, doesn't show well, very dark, too many window treatments, too big of furniture, too ugly of colors. How do we take a house from $1 million to $1,092,000? We do it every day. We do it every single day. So part of the value as a realtor is the next class of how are we going to take, and I don't mean just graying it out. I mean, how do you add other colors into it? What do you do with the window treatments? How do you handle a seller that's spent $50,000 on window treatments, and those window treatments got to go? They all got to go. Okay. How do you handle that seller? How do you get their confidence that they're willing to put in $8,000 or $10,000 in order to get that benefit? What is it, Billy? Facts tell and stories sell.
That's right.
Facts tell, stories sell, man. You just tell them about the last seller that they invested $8,500 and they got $100,000 extra. They had no home inspection. They had no appraisal. The person was getting financing, so they needed an appraisal, but it wasn't contingent. The appraisal came in at 1.15. The house sold for 1.227, 77,000 over the appraisal. And it was dated when we walked in the door. So that's the next class. So I hope that this helps. I hope that allows you to practice this. Unfortunately, I don't have the time or the manpower to kind of go through this over and over again, but use this class that we have recorded as a good place for you guys to go back and look and learn and this and that. And if you shoot me an email, maybe I can do a little, but it's complicated. It's hard to kind of get into. Hopefully there's a simple way of you doing it. Obviously if you do have questions, let me know and I'll try and help out. If you have a house that's out of your ballpark or out of your comfort level or out of your whatever, and you want to partner with us, I just had an agent call us. It was listed for $875. Should have been listed at $799. They'll probably get $825 to $845. So we're going to work on redoing that house, redoing that listing. So I'm partnering with that agent. But we partner with agents all the time. So if you need help, real help on pricing on a bigger house or something like that you don't know that you can handle or want to handle, then you can shoot it over to us. We'll be happy to partner with you. I hope that helps. That's Pricing 101. And that is a game changer. And one of the game changers for us, like I said, last year, the difference between doing it this way and going to the computers to get our pricing probably made my team $1 million to $1.2 million. So I hope next year or this year, it helps you close more listings, price them right, get them sold right away, have sellers that love you, have buyers that come right to you to say, hey, can I write the contract to you? The answer is yes, you certainly can. Okay. And then hope the neighborhood loves you for selling that house and they come to you and give you more business. Our goal is to elevate all the Samson agents so that we all look better as a team and it'll all come back. Pay it forward to somebody else. So my name is Casey Samson. You can reach me at casey@caseysamson.com, 703-508-2535. You can go to our website. I have a lot of information at caseysamson.com. You can take a look at the next class we're going to have. Game changer. He said to take the house from $1 million to $1.1 million. So we'll see you then. That's going to be next Thursday at 2:00. We'll see you then. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. You can shoot me an email, and we'll try and help. Billy, did I forget anything?
I don't think so. The class had a lot of good questions that we were answering. So thank you for all of the questions and interactions.
Good. Good.
It might be good, Case. We can discuss putting together a 200 level class. There was a lot of questions on the 200 level kind of wavelength. So we can definitely discuss that. But if everyone understood this will get you a great foundation on how to price. And the more you know, the more that you can calculate numbers, the better off you'll be. So thanks to everyone. And look forward to next week.
I think that as leaving you want to say to yourself, there's nobody that can price this house better than I can. So I want you guys to practice. Pricing is the most important thing. And again, the one thing at the 200 level that I think I'm going to slip in right now is, okay, we've got these numbers. Where do we price it at? Yeah. Well, what are we supposed to do? Right.
That was one of the last questions on the thresholds and the strategy. So let's hold off on the 200 level because there's some people leaving now. I don't want to miss out on those people, but Hey,
Billy, if they left, screw them.
All right.
Here, I'm going to tell everybody that stuck around. Here's your bonus. All the buyer pools are either at $1 million. That's a massive buyer pool. If you go over $1 million, you lose 80% of your market.
Yep.
The next buyer pool is at $1.50 million, and then $1.1 million. So if you think you're somewhere around that, don't go to $1,020,000 or $1,010,000. You wipe out 80% of your buyer pool. Tuck it under $1 million. Get as big a buyer pool as you can. Let them bid that sucker up, because the other houses you saw in here were bid up $50,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, and also the one thing to point out, Case, was our first model spit out $1,038,000 on the averages.
Yeah,
we spit out $1,055,000. So in the 200 level, we'll go back and we'll show you how to prune down the numbers, adjust up and down. Just looking off of this, basic pricing here, it would be a great idea to put it right under $1 million, because $1 million is probably one of the biggest thresholds there is. So
boom.
Yeah.
Especially when all your competition is saying 950. Right. So I think we ought to stay under $1 million to get that big buyer pool. We can still get to $1.1 million. It's already been proven. So let's tuck that thing at $999 and let's rock and roll. Let's let them fight it out. No home inspection, no appraisal, and let's let her rip. Okay, that's 200. My name is Casey Samson. Thanks for sitting in. See you again next week at 2:00. Bye now.